So what is up, guys? So in this tutorial we're going to learn few shot prompting. It's different than zero shot prompting because in few shot prompting obviously you provide at least a few examples for the model to at least understand the context, and then from there you can ask the question according to the examples that you have provided, and then the model will reply to you based on what you have told the model to do, right? Obviously. So there is a page on the guide that I've shown you guys before, and that page again is about few shot prompting, and they are providing examples to understand this thing. So this is the first example in which they have given a first input and output example to the model, and then they are giving a question or a prompt, and they want the model to give the answer of that prompt based on the example that they have provided before. So let's see this thing. So a wapuu is a small furry animal native to Tanzania, which is in Africa. An example of a sentence that uses the word wapuu is this, and then the prompt, the answer, the output would be: we were traveling in Africa and we saw these cute wapuus. And then after giving this example, you're giving a question or a prompt, right? So to do a fardoodle means to jump up and down really fast. An example of a sentence that uses the word fardoodle is, and then it's going to give you a sentence with the word fardoodle in it, right? So it says, we won the game, we all started to fardoodle in celebration. So it's a very simple thing. Obviously you could also say that this is a one shot prompting as well, because we're just giving one shot. If you give multiple shots, like multiple examples, in that case it would become a few shot prompting as well, right? So let's just go ahead and perform this. It's really simple. Go ahead and copy the code that you've written before in zero shot prompting and just paste it somewhere, and we're just going to make few changes in here. Obviously in this case we're not providing any system level prompt, so I'm just going to remove this line that we have written before, and the user level prompt that we're going to provide is going to be the first example. So for if the user gives a question like this, for example, so let's go back. I'm just gonna paste that here, and I'm just gonna remove these inverted commas, so that we could have the whole thing. Okay, there you go. So this is the user level prompt, and from here we want the a assistant level prompt. One second. So here it will be assistant, and the response of the assistant, meaning the chatbot, would be this, right? So I'm just gonna copy this again and paste it. So let me just remove this part and add that here. Okay, now we would be asking a question to the prompt, right? To the chatbot, right? So in that case we would be writing another user level prompt, obviously. So let me just write that here, and in that case it would be this question. Where's the question? This one here, which is, let me just copy this whole thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this part. There you go. So yeah, let me just remove commas. Okay, there you go. So as you can see, we have provided an example, and after that we have we are providing our prompt. And let me copy this part as well, so that we can see what the response is. I'm just gonna print it, and let's just run it and see how it goes. Children were so excited to see a circus that they began to fardoodle in place. So they use that word, right? So this is how few shot prompting works. Now there are a few, obviously, there are few limitations to using few shot prompting. Obviously one of the limitations is what happens when you try to give examples that are completely opposite, completely against the internal knowledge of the model. For example, let's just say that we give an example in which all the negative sentence are labeled as positive, and all the positive all the positive sentences are labeled as negative. Or maybe we can also make random labels. So for example, in this case they have actually made the labels to be completely random. So as you can see, the first sentence is this is awesome. and they're labeling that as negative. Then they're saying this is bad, and they are labeling that as positive. Although this is a negative sentence, but they are labeling as positive. Wow, that movie was rad. They're saying it's positive. Now this could be a correct labeling because it says wow, so maybe that might add some positive aspect to it. I'm not sure what's the definition of rad, but I'm hoping this is a positive sentence. So in this case, they have randomized the labels. And as you can see, what a horrible show. This is a negative sentence, and the model gave obviously negative sentence here. Obviously, this they don't consider this to be a correct answer because the labels were randomized, and because of that, the model probably did not learn, and that's why that's why you did not got any response back, right? You did not got the correct response, or that's the case. Maybe if we would have changed the definition and we would have explicitly told the model in the system level prompt that label all your positive sentence as negative, and all your negative sentence as positive, and then maybe we might have got an answer, right? So that's that's a limitation of using a few shot prompting, in which you could give a knowledge, but you cannot go a lot against the internal knowledge of the model. There's also another problem with this model that they have explained here. The other problem here is what happens when you give the question and an answer to the model, but you don't tell the model how to find that answer, how to get to that answer. You just say for this question, this is the answer. In this case, obviously the model would not know, and it might even give you wrong answers. So in this case, they are explaining this thing. So for example, let's say if this is the question, the odd numbers in this group add up to the even number, and we're just giving a list of numbers. So the model says yes, the odd numbers in this group add up to 107. If you find all the sum of the odd numbers, it's saying that it would be 107. But then it is saying that it is an even number, and it said yes to it. So that's actually a problem because that's not correct answer. That's a wrong answer. So you could do this thing. See, as you can see, you're giving a question and you're giving an answer. Then you're giving a question and just the answer. Then if you give this thing the same question in here, and it says the answer is true. Although this thing doesn't work. So what can we do? Remember what I said before. What I said that this thing happens when you give the question and the answer, but you don't explain to the model how to get to the answer from the question, right? So that is actually called as chain of thought prompting, which we are going to cover in next tutorial. But basically, chain of thought prompting, it tells not just question and answer, but also explains how to get to that answer. So that's chain of thought prompting, and we're just going to do that in our tutorial. But you could do these examples, these limitations. You can test them out as an exercise to what we have done. All you have to do is just add more of these things, and you should be able to get answer. Let me know if you have any questions. I would reply to your comments. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next tutorial.